Hello, everyone. We are a few minutes late, but here we are. I wanted to make sure that you all get an opportunity to hear about what I've been sharing about, and that is the Bold on Purpose Women's Mental Health Summit. So tonight, I wanted to be sure that you actually got a chance to hear from the ladies that I've been bragging about. so, so I am so honored that these ladies have consented to come and to share with you on mental health. And I'm telling you, if you have not gotten your ticket, you haven't registered, you need to be in the room. You need to be in the room. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the host of the summit. I'm saying that because when you hear from these amazing speakers and when they come to share what they are planning to share, it is going to be phenomenal and life changing. And so you need to be in the room to hear from them and then to connect with other women. That's important. We as women need to lock arms and come together and encourage one another. And so I think that's also a part of this summit. So, anyway, I'm Dr. Michelle. You all know me. I am hosting the Bold on Purpose Women's Mental Health Summit. The information is scrolling at the bottom, but it is September 21st. It's a Saturday from 11 to 3 p.m. And we are going to have lunch and we are going to get to hear from my two guests. And I'm also going to share as well. But I'm going to let them introduce themselves. And then we're just going to talk a little bit about what we plan to share with you, just a snippet of what we plan to share with you at the summit so you know why it is so important for you to be there. And if you have any questions, hopefully they will come up in the chat here. But go ahead and share your questions. And I am also sharing the link to the registration as well. So you make sure that you grab that link and get signed up, get registered for this summit. So um, I am going to relinquish my mic and I'm going to allow these two wonderful ladies to introduce themselves. And then we're just going to have a brief conversation about the summit. So I'm going to start with Nicole Clement. Nicole, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
How about that? Thank you, Michelle, for having me. I'm Nicole Clement. I am a certified trauma based therapist here in the state of Kentucky, and I provide telehealth services in Kentucky and Indiana. And I think this summit is going to be amazing because we're talking about being bold and being bold on purpose. And I realize that sometimes the difficulty in being bold is when you don't really know yourself and you don't know what's keeping you from being bold. You don't realize that things that you've experienced in your past is preventing you from being bold, right? And so I think it's important that we really come out and really grasp a good understanding of what it means to have that breakthrough, um, and just understanding what's hindering you, what's stopping you from moving forward. And those obstacles, they are sometimes they're visible and sometimes they're not, but it's important that you recognize them. And I believe we will help you to really identify what those obstacles could be. And so it's important that you come out and get a word and get some encouragement and work through those struggles and those difficulties that you might be facing.
So, all right. And then I also have with me my friend Tamika Abbott. Tamika, you want to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad that you are listening live. And for those that are joining the replay, I'm telling you, you're going to love this conversation. I am Tanika Abbott. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I'm also a certified life coach. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a daughter. Those are just some of the roles that I operate in, and I am just excited again to be a part of today's conversation and really to take place as a presenter in September on the 21st. I'm really excited. When I think about being bold, being in a leadership position, that wasn't something that I was always comfortable with doing because I thought it would somehow take away from my being a leader or how others were going to perceive me. And I realized that that was a mindset that I had, and it was a mindset that needed to be changed. It needed to be changed from a spiritual perspective because I worried about it more within my church community than I did out in my job, which was, I don't want to use the word secular, but I was out in the community and I didn't care that much, how they perceived me because my job was my job, but within the church and being a leader, there were some things that God needed to work on. And in order for me to be bold, that meant that I had to address those things. Some of them were spiritual, some of them were relational, some of them were physical, but it all encapsulated my mental health. And so I'm really excited to be able to share, to learn from all of the other presenters and to address our mental health because it is important if we are going to thrive. And this is just me, it's going to come out of me. The word says that God desires that we prosper as our soul prospers. Where our soul, which is where our mind, our will, and our emotions dwell, if we aren't healthy there, we're not prospering. We can exist and we can function, but that's not prospering. And I'm so excited that we will be a part. And I'm saying we because I need you to go ahead, and if you haven't registered, you need to register so that we all can prosper and be in good health. So thank you, Dr. Michelle, for the opportunity.
Oh yes, I'm so excited. And I could not agree more. Our overall health, like we as women, and this is a women's mental health summit because I just I have a heart for the time, the effort, the nurture, the responsibilities, the leadership, the being the person in our family, the person on our job, the person in our social groups that people come to, right? And when you're that person, it is so easy to keep pouring, and not paying attention to what it is you need. And so that's my heart is for we as women to just take this little bit of time together, and what God will do in this little bit of time can really help us move forward on the trajectory that He has for us. And so that's why I'm so excited and so um, concerned for women to show up for yourself, because it's really about you saying, I'm important enough, I'm going to set this time aside, I'm going to set this boundary around my life for this period of time so that I can be poured into. And then I can come back to you and I can do what you need me to do. I can do what you ask of me. And so that's why this is so important. So, as Nicole said, this is the Bold on Purpose Women's Mental Health Summit. And I say on purpose because of the very thing she said, intentionality. We have to be purposeful about the things that we want, we desire, and we are called to do, because it's really not necessarily that. I mean, we all have grand ideas about things we'd love to do, but when we really settle into purpose and we really pay attention to where we have gifts and callings and talents and what passions we have, then we have to be really intentional about how we're going to get to do those things that we're destined to do. And so I call it the Bold on Purpose Summit because we are going to be purposeful in seeking our purpose. And part of that is for us to really think about our mental health. And so one of the things that I want to share as a preview to what we're going to do that day or talk about that day is that our mindset is everything. And I know we hear that a lot, and a lot of people are talking about mindset and changing your mindset. But at the core of it, it really comes down to, what do I believe? What do I believe about myself? What do I believe about my purpose? What do I believe about how I'm going to be able to achieve these things? And so our mindset has to come in alignment, right, with the things that we know that we're called to do, the things that are our desire, the thing that we're passionate about. We've got to bring our mindset in alignment. And so I just want to talk on that day about some things that we can do to be very intentional to work on our mindset. Because when we start, we have to start there, because when we change that mindset, then it's not such a big deal when I say, hey, I need to take a day, or I need to take some time away, or when I say no, right? That you have to be okay with me saying no, because I'm saying that no because I need to fill my cup, right? And when I say that no, when I come back to you, I'm going to be better. So it's all about that mindset to really think about, how can I take, with intentionality, some tools, some strategy to be able to work very effectively and efficiently and intentionally on my mental health, so that when I show up as mom, when I show up as, for me, Nana, when I show up as wife, when I show up as coworker, colleague, when I show up as friend, as whoever, that I'm showing up in a way where I am full, right? And I have something to give. And I'm not just, I don't know about you, but I don't want people giving to me from the bare bottom, from the bottom of the barrel. That's
And
not what I
sometimes
want.
they don't even realize it.
Yeah. Because when you get them from the bottom of the barrel, think about scraping the bottom of the barrel. That's gross, right? You're not giving from overflow. You're not giving from being filled. And so that's really, really important in terms of us taking this time to really be intentional about our mindset. And so, yeah, Nicole, you want to share a little bit about how you intend to share, and give a preview of what you plan to share at the summit?
I think it's interesting that you shared about being intentional, and what I believe is that we struggle with being intentional because we don't understand why there's a barrier there.
Mm-hmm.
And from my perspective, I believe that we have barriers that are unknown, right? So I can tell you that when I didn't realize that I needed therapy, a therapist, and I needed therapy, but I didn't realize it because I didn't realize that when I sat in my first social work class, that I was actually going to have language placed to what I had experienced. And because I didn't know
Mm.
I had been abandoned, I didn't know I experienced abandonment. So it's like you don't realize what you have experienced until language is put to it. And so we struggle with being intentional because of things that we don't know that we have actually experienced. Trauma can hit you so many different ways, and you don't even realize that you experienced something traumatic until language is put to it. So you don't realize that you can't be bold because of something that you experience. And you might have walked away with a narrative that you tell yourself that's preventing you from being bold. It's preventing you from being intentional. And so it's important that we understand why we struggle with being intentional, why we struggle with being bold, why we struggle with communicating what it is we need. And so
Mm.
that is what I had to come to, that realization that I actually did experience some traumatic things that was hindering me. And it wasn't that was anything that was really said, but it was the narrative. And it goes back to the mindset. But the mindset is distorted because of the narrative that you walked away with after the experience. So although you're not in the traumatic experience anymore, you're still carrying the residue from it. So
Tanika, what are your thoughts?
I love when you shared, although you're not in the trauma, it's like you are re experiencing it because of what's here.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So if we address here, then we can get the right perspective and we can see the reality. We're not minimizing, what you experienced because you experienced it. But you don't have to live with just that experience. You can experience something new. You can experience healing. I think sometimes what can happen, and I'll use myself because that's the best person that I can talk about, is me. Experiencing a trauma, when I replayed that tape recorder, I talked myself into at some point only being able to see what was on the tape recorder. And the tape recorder only talked to me about what I experienced. It never said to me, however, you can experience release. You can experience emotion, yes, but there are more emotions than just pain. And that tape didn't talk to me about that. And when I looked at my mindset, what I was telling myself, and what I began to believe, when I was shown, when I was able to see that I could experience something else, it helped me to, as you would say, Michelle, boldly step into a new place. And I think that that's one of the things that all of us want to see, all of the women who come and attend, to see you take that step, to walk boldly. Because to be bold, to me, bold is a verb.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It requires action.
Mm-hmm.
And that one word in that bold, the O, standing for the obstacles. And maybe your obstacle is a traumatic experience that you had. Maybe your obstacle is from a failed relationship. Or maybe your obstacle for those women who are going to attend, who are business owners or who are coaches or who are in some other profession, maybe your obstacle was a professional setback. No matter what your obstacle is, you can take a bold step. You can break free. And I'm very intentional with words, because if I share with someone that they're able to let go, then you have the opportunity to pick it back up. I don't believe any of us are interested in anyone who attends letting go. Our goal is not for you to let go. Our goal is for you to see how to break free, how to be released, and how to experience wholeness and liberation. And in order to do that, you have to be in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be in the room. What I will be sharing is identifying what those obstacles are, and really identifying, using myself again as an example, when I had to be bold and I had to work through my experiences, professional, relational, even with my own health challenges. I had to learn that my mental health was key. So we're going to put a definition to mental health. Again, I'm real intentional with words. And so they hold a lot of power. So we're going to define what mental health is. We're going to look at it. And then we're going to really define what your obstacle is. I believe that we need to get to the root of things. And once we get to the root of things, that's how we can really address. For me, I spent too much time looking at the symptoms. And I
Wow.
would ask and I would pray and ask God to heal my symptoms. And He wasn't interested in healing my symptoms. He wanted to get to the root so that I wouldn't have to re experience the symptoms. So we're going to be looking at that as well. And I don't want to give everything away because I need you in the room.
Yes.
I need you in the room. But prayerfully, what I share and what we all share today is going to encourage and empower you to be in the room, to take that bold step. You take that bold step and you register, then you can tell that thought that comes that, oh, I don't know how to be bold. Yes, you do, because you registered. That's a
Mhm.
bold move.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I want to encourage you. Take your first step in being bold and register. Come to hear what Dr. Michelle is going to share. Come to hear what Nicole is going to share. Come to hear what I am going to share. And then here's the best part of it: we will be in community, we will be in a place of safety, because that is important. It's vital. And I will say this about Dr. Michelle, because I know this to be true. She takes the time and the effort to make sure you are in a safe space and safe place. This is that. If you've never experienced safety before, and unfortunately I know that there are some of us who have not, and some of us have made that step and we've been injured by it. However, I am assuring you, and this is a bold move, I'm assuring you, this is a place of safety. This is a place of safety. And you can come and you can take your titles off. You know, you can set down your veils, and you are free to be you. You are free to be you. And I don't know about you, but that causes me to want to exhale.
Mhm.
Like, phew, finally, finally. So let's come together. Let's come together and let's be bold together.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm glad you used that word, take off the veils, because I think so many times we that's the place where we live.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We live behind the veil, and we don't, as you said, maybe necessarily have the place where we can shed that, or it's we've been veiled so long that we don't even know how. And that's why the breakthrough and breaking free is so important.
Absolutely.
Because if the women who come, for those of you that come, I want you to think about what it is that you have been desiring. You think about that thing, you're like, man, I wish I could get there. And life just keeps lifing. And you keep living in that space of go, go, go behind that veil. And you never really shed that, and you never really give yourself the opportunity to dream about, but not only dream about, but really envision yourself in that place that you are desiring. And I
Mhm.
think that when you come in the room, we're setting up a space for you to be able to do that, to really see yourself at that place that you've been desiring to be. And it all comes back to working on that mindset and making sure that your mental health is in a place where you can take those steps boldly and without reservation, and set the boundaries around your life so that you can move forward. And so that's really my heart, I think all of our heart, for the women that will come. So ladies, is there anything else that you all want to share? I just wanted us to be able to come together and let people know just a snippet of what they're going to get to experience at the summit. But is there anything else you want to share?
I would just say you don't have to suffer in silence. You will be in a safe space, as Michelle and Miss Abbott stated. And it's important that you come out and start your healing journey. It is a process. It's not an overnight, but we have to start somewhere. And I started my journey and of self discovery, and I encourage you to start your journey.
I would want to share this. Maybe you're contemplating, because I've been in the place where I had to contemplate, did I really want to work on my stuff? And in all honesty, there were times when the answer was absolutely unequivocally no. I didn't want to. I was scared. I even liked my stuff. I liked it because I thought it served a purpose. But I did get to the place where I realized I wasn't living and it was holding me back. And so maybe you're in that place today where you're like, well, you know what? It would be a good idea and I want to, but I'm not sure. That's okay. I want to encourage you to come anyway and come with your uncertainty, come with your emotion of being nervous or maybe even a little anxious. Come with it anyway because you will be in a safe place. And if nothing else, you can come. I give you permission because sometimes we need permission. And so I'm going to give you permission. You can come and be like, you know what, Tanika, you said that this was a safe place. So I'm just telling you that I'm holding you accountable to that. That's okay.
Mhm.
Because that's how we're going to support you. And for those who have been supported and let down before, come so that you have a new experience. Finally, I want to share this. In addressing whatever our obstacle is, we already know what it feels like to be in that place of living with the obstacle. I want you to experience what it will be like on the other side of it. My mother used to say on the other side of through.
Mhm.
And I want to encourage you to come and see what it can look like on the other side of through. That's all I have.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm excited. I am so excited for what we are going to experience there. So, the link for you to join and register for the summit is in the comment section. Please make sure that you register as soon as possible because we are having lunch together. And so we have to have a count for our lunch. So I want you to go ahead and get registered and just come with expectation of getting to the other side of through, as my sister said. But I'm so thankful for Nicole and for Tanika, these amazing women, both of them who are doing the work every day, working with women like you and me each and every day, and who are not working from a place of uh, the unknown. They're working from a place of knowing and having walked this path themselves. And so we've all walked our path. And when we are open enough to be transparent about that, we can help somebody else. And so that too, I hope will happen in the room. And so come to this safe space. Come to the Bold on Purpose Women's Mental Health Summit. It is 1 month from today, 4 weeks from today. So get registered so we have your count for our lunch together as we get the opportunity to actually sit around the table and fellowship with one another and be in community, as my sister said. And then to get so much of the strategy and the tools and the healing that you need to be able to envision yourself in that place that you've just been dreaming about. So thank you so much, ladies. I love you both. And I cannot wait for us all to be together September 21st. Thank you, everybody. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and put replay in the comments so that we know that you were able to listen in about the upcoming summit. But I'm excited and thrilled to be able to meet with all of you in a very few weeks, in just about 4 weeks. All right. Well, you all have a great evening. It's Saturday. I hope you had a great Saturday, and I hope the rest of your Saturday is amazing. And thank you to my sisters, Nicole and Tanika. We'll talk to you all later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.